My name is Fintan McKiernan, and I look after Ideal Systems for Southeast Asia, predominantly Malaysia, Singapore and Indonesia. Ideal Systems essentially has three divisions. The oldest division, which we came from, is our broadcast systems integration business. So we provide systems and solutions for broadcasters. Then more recently we added a pro AV business, so everything in the audiovisual business, from digital signage to audio systems for buildings and so on. And then the latest division, which kind of sits across both of those, is our cloud division. And our cloud division really is focused on the migration of systems, be they broadcast systems or AV systems, into cloud-based systems. Before we worked together, well, I suppose I was a marketing dinosaur in one way. When I look back, we were very traditional, and our marketing kind of tracks the history of our company in a way. So in the broadcast business, certainly in my part of Southeast Asia, there's not many broadcasters. We didn't have many customers. Because in each country there's not that many broadcasters. So marketing to those is, it's an interesting thing, because you don't have there isn't a large group of customers per se. So it's really about keeping up what's new. And in the last 10 years, we've seen things like the migration of standard definition to high definition, and we've seen IT automation systems over kind of proprietary device driven. So there's been, the technology evolves, broadcasters go into this new technology, the business changes, which changes the technology as well. So you got Netflix, iFlix, these over-the-top players and stuff. So that's all changed that business, and we have to be ahead of that trend with the technology to enable our broadcasters to operate in a changing media landscape. And the way we did that was predominantly by going to the trade shows. So we would do trade shows here in Singapore, Broadcast Asia, ABU is a broadcast trade show in Kuala Lumpur, and there was a Broadcast Indonesia. So we'd take a traditional booth, and we'd build lots of the new technology, and we'd bring our sales guys in, and then for 3 days we'd be there on our booth, speed dating, talk, saying talk. And then after that 3 days of the trade show, we'd all have a big wad of business cards, which we would follow up on, allegedly. And that was our business. And that was supplemented to a certain degree with traditional print advertising, so trade magazines, trade journals, and we'd pay for advertising in that. And those magazines then, when we have interesting new developments, they'd run stories on us as well. So we'd be in the trade print magazine. AV came along, and we're pretty much tracking that same thing. AV has a different set of trade shows, so we'd go to the trade show, we'd build a booth, and we'd invite people, and we'd try and meet as many people as we can in a few short days, follow up, and then AV has its traditional magazines as well. So that was it. It was trade shows and magazines. COVID was the catalyst to change, or it sped up our change to digital marketing, which we really hadn't been doing. And having worked with Brew Interactive, now kind of looking back, I realized we didn't really understand digital marketing per se. I think the biggest thing that Brew brought to us was the education of what digital marketing could do for us. And how to approach that, and the issue, I think, and this is not just for our company, I think it's for many companies, they don't really understand and they don't have the internal skill sets to create effective digital marketing programs. And I think that's where Brew really kind of changed the game. It was like what it actually means, what search engine optimization really means, how to use that search engine optimization, and how to place the ads, where to place the ads, when to place the ads, how to differentiate between search engine optimization, ad placement in Google, ad placement in Facebook, ad placement in LinkedIn and on various social media platforms. And then the real stuff that I wasn't aware of was the design of landing pages, how they work, how they operate, and the automation of the sales lead generation. And that to me has been a revelation. I think the consultative nature of Brew Interactive, learning about our business and then telling us and advising us of what we can do, what's the what are the available options, and how best to obtain our goals within our budget, and all of that, because I had no idea about how to budget it. We had no metrics, we had no analytics, so all of that. That's a huge amount of new platforms, new mechanisms to deliver your message and to gain the results you want in that new media that we weren't aware of. Back to my dinosaur world of trade shows and print magazine advertising and giving out business cards. This is a very different world. So yeah, that's massive value brought to us. Having gone down this road with Brew Interactive and having gone down the road of the digital marketing, I think, generally speaking, there's been a lot of benefits, but one of the key benefits, and this is one that I didn't see, and that's why I'm interested in it, is I mentioned before about our trade shows. And our trade shows cost us quite a bit of money, not just for the booth space, not just for the equipment that we build on the booth, not just for the amount of time and engineering resource that we send, we take people off projects to put them on the booth, but there's a whole planning process, months and months ahead. What are we putting on the booth? How do we design the booth? What's the technology on the booth? The wiring, the network. So the booth for us is actually a systems integration project, right? And it takes months and months of planning, logistics. This equipment comes from Europe, US, China, all over the world. Has to arrive, be staged. So it's a full, and of course, there's no customer here. We're the customer, so this is all our cost, right? So all this cost goes in on top of just the raw booth space and all that sort of stuff. But what the real kicker of the trade show is, you've got this 3 days where you're trying to meet all these people and you amass these business cards, and that, from a sales lead generation perspective, you're drinking water from the fire hydrant here. It's like it's overload. You can't process, and the sales guys, they can't process 50 leads in the next week or the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, and then so the big thing for me is when we engaged Brew Interactive and we did our landing page and we did our marketing initiative and we did our campaign, the leads were coming in consistently as a flow, and 24/7. So on a Monday morning, come in, the inbox, the lead generator there's qualified leads in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, already there sitting. The sales guys are delighted every Monday morning, and they come in all week. They come in over the weekend, they come in at night, but it's manageable because there's a few just trickling in the whole time. That to us is much more effective than how we had been. So it's not just, and there's a quantitative and a qualitative side to this. These were quality leads. We fine-tuned the algorithms with Brew on their advice how to optimize the leads that were coming in, but more specifically, we can actually manage through this. So this is an ongoing lead generation thing, and that to me is the biggest difference. We're not just we do a trade show in Singapore in June, we get a big chunk of replies or inquiries, and then that does us for the year kind of thing. Now we've got this constant pipe coming in. Game changer.